Hello and welcome to a quick chat with Sam Carney. He is, I believe, an app editor with Manchester United, and I think that's a really interesting job to have in the football world that I know nothing about. So I figured, why not have a chat and share it with you guys? So, how are you doing, Sam?
I'm good, thanks, Joe. How are you?
I'm all right, Tar. Pretty good. So first up, what is your job? Because I see it and I think app editor, and I know what they are individually, but combined, it's a little bit confusing, especially in a football setting.
So my job sounds probably more specific than it actually is, really. I'm kind of responsible, or a member of the team that's responsible for the upkeep of the Manchester United app and the Manchester United website. Those two platforms kind of use the same content. Obviously, each one's specialised, and we publish on both as well. But yeah, I kind of look after the day to day of that, really. The coverage of the men's team. It's also integrated with MUTV, so we show academy fixtures on the women's fixtures, all that kind of thing. But it's a broader role than app editor because I'm also, I also interview players. We go to games, report on games. So it is more of a media role, really.
Yeah.
Content role, yeah.
So I did forget to mention Sam works for Manchester United. A lot of the people that watch this channel are Leeds fans, but it's a more general sort of chat. We're not going to dive too far into the Man United side of things. So, how exactly did you get into where you are in terms of your career, your role at the
Yeah.
moment?
So, well, as far back as I can remember, I've always wanted to go into football journalism. Been a big football fan for all my life, and I used to love the kind of the English side of things at school and writing, but I kind of took a longer way about it, really. So I did English at uni, and then I went into copywriting until I was about 24, 25. And then I kind of thought, I haven't really made a proper go of this, and I haven't really gone in the direction that I wanted to go. So went back to Salford University through a master's in journalism, and through that we had a 2-day placement with Man United. Everyone had a 2-day placement with United, so I went in there. That's how it started, really. Doing that, I think it was about the time, 2019. It was when Solskjaer was in charge. He was on that good run, if you remember when he first came in. So the move was,
The whole give him the contract run kind of time.
yeah, I think it was just before that PSG game, actually, and before Rio said that. So
Yeah.
yeah, I went in there while we were winning, and then yeah, I got offered more freelance shifts after that. Really, I told them how enthusiastic I was about it. Really, I told them, I've been a United fan for 20 odd years, and this is kind of my dream role, and I kind of didn't really want to let that opportunity slip once I had it.
Yeah.
And I think that enthusiasm helped, and a few other things helped. I was lucky in terms of people leaving and them needing freelance cover, really, because obviously you can go into these things and just as a work experience, just for 2 days, and then you're out again, aren't you? But no, I was in the right place at the right time, really. But I think the enthusiasm I showed, well, I can say this. You probably have to ask other people about it. But I think that definitely
Yeah,
helped me.
definitely helped you along the way for them to be able to see that it's something that you definitely wanted to do and were going to commit yourself to, sort of thing.
Yeah, and I think you get in at first, and you're kind of on the bottom rung of the ladder, aren't you? But I find the way to you need to prove yourself. You need to prove that you can handle different situations. And as I say, I was freelance first, and I did that for about 2 years before getting the permanent role. So I've been here 4 years all told now, but probably half and half split between freelance and permanent.
Yeah. So, what would you say have been your sort of biggest challenges in the role so far? Whether it's sort of adapting or something completely new coming in, or specific situations that you found really, really tough? Is there any that specifically come to mind as something that was really hard to get through?
Well, first and foremost, it was COVID, really. March 2020, obviously, when football shut down. Because I was freelance, I was worried because, at the time, we didn't know when this was going to end. We didn't know when football was going to be played again. It turned out to be a 3-month absence, but I was pretty concerned that there would be no work for me. And obviously, I'm a year into this role, which is my dream role, and it's kind of been, there's a threat of it being taken away because there's no
It's a
football to
scary time to
report on.
have a wobble in it.
Yeah, I think so. But the club were really good. We kind of kept, publishing during lockdown, and then other than that, really, because it's club media. It's all well and good when you're winning games, but when you're losing, it's tough.
Yeah,
Because
I'm sure it's stressful for you, but on my end, it's very funny to watch from the outside.
Yeah, well, yeah, last season was obviously good for us and bad for you, wasn't it? But no, I think it's because of scrutiny United have around the world as well, and there can be backlashes on social media even if you just lose one game. But if you lose a string of games, it can start to get quite tough. Not that I'm kind of, not that I get threats or anything on social media, but we do kind of stop publishing as much when we're not in a good run of form, which has obviously been the case recently, which can be quite tough because you want to be hands-on, you want to be busy, you want to be trying new things, don't you? So it's definitely better when you win games, obviously.
Yeah. So what would you say are some of the biggest positives of the role? So I'm assuming sort of when you are winning the games, that's sort of when that kicks in and everyone's having a good time, everyone wants to read stuff about the club, that sort of thing.
Yeah, I think the one thing everyone gets excited about when they ask me and I tell them I work for Manchester United is the proximity to the players. I wouldn't say we're not there every day around the training ground, but there is the opportunity to go in, interview players like Bruno Fernandes, Marcus Rashford, Casemiro, big names. And I think people are always impressed when you tell them that. And that is kind of the first time you do it is a bit pinch yourself to be around these people you see on TV. And obviously being given the chance to go to matches for free as well is something that never quite loses its appeal. So I'd say those are the big two. And then there's other things that, as I've gone on in my role, kind of been able to experience more and more. So going on pre-season tours. I've been on the last 2 summer pre-season tours, obviously traveling around the world, all paid for. So these are things you can't ever take for granted, really.
Yeah, it's that sort of, because I've managed to get into that sort of press box situation once, and that was a very, very weird day because I was like, I don't know how I got here, but it's quite nice that I am here, if that makes sense.
It is, like, I'm used to it now because I probably do pretty much every home game and quite a few away games. But I think the first time I did it, it was actually, I'd done a few at uni, like in the lower leagues, but I did. We played AC Milan in a pre-season friendly, and we were at Cardiff, the Millennium Stadium in Cardiff. So that was obviously a pretty big ground to do your first game at, and it is a bit of a pinch yourself moment, and you kind of wanting to take it all in and take as many photographs and things, but at the same time you're there to do a job as well, and you've got to be professional about it. So it's that kind of balancing act, really.
Yeah. So combining the whole big moments thing, and I'm assuming all of these individual matches, sort of Southampton away isn't going to have quite the same influence as some other ones. So what would you say is your sort of most memorable moment so far in the role?
I've had lots of them, to be fair. I missed out on a big one last year, though. I missed out on my first trophy because the opportunity to go to Wembley for the Carabao Cup final was there. I was at my friend's stag do in Poland instead. So I missed out on that one. But no, I would say the pre-season tours have been brilliant. We did Australia and Thailand last year, and that was obviously Eric Ten Hag's first pre-season. So it's kind of getting to know him. And we'd had about a week out there, and I got asked, "Oh, do you want to interview the boss tomorrow?" One of the first people to do it, really. I think he hadn't really done any media interviews outside of the club at the time. So it was challenging, and I was nervous about it and anxious because I didn't really know him. But it went well. And when I got back, I say, got to interview Eric Ten Hag. Everyone's asking me what he's like. So I think I'd probably say that was up there. And then this pre-season tour, we were in America for 2 weeks. And he did Andre Onana's first interview once he signed. Bruno Fernandes as well interviewed about he was made the captain, did his first interview. So little things like that, I think, just sticking in your head. And
it's the sort of thing where it might become sort of routine, but it's never going to lose that sort of shine that it's got to it either.
I think it is routine, but it's not as in the sense of you're not doing these interviews every week. I might be at Carrington once a week, and I might be doing an interview for the programme with, I don't know, Diogo Dallo, whatever. But some interviews are more memorable than the others, like the ones you do for the first time you're interviewing these players. So, but at the same time, none of them are all the same. Every interview is different. So there's always that challenge of having to think up new angles and new questions. And obviously, you're reacting to the football as it happens. The great thing about football is there's a game every 3-4 days, so there's always a new storyline and always a new narrative. No two games are the same.
Yeah, there's always something new to talk about. It's never too static. In
Yeah.
terms of not being too static, that was a really nice segue. I'm going to have that. What are you sort of looking to do in the future? Are you looking to stick with this role? Are you looking to sort of try and progress, sort of thing? What's next?
Yeah, I think for me, I mean, I'm early 30s now, so I'm kind of getting to that age where, settling down a little bit. Got married early this year. So eventually I want to kind of move into a leadership role and, progress in that sense. But I think at the moment I'm still enjoying the sense of covering the team and going to watch the football and that side of it. I wouldn't want it to just become a normal 9-to-5 office job just yet. I don't think. I think you get into this line of work because you love the sport. So I don't really want to give that up just yet. But I think, in future, I definitely want to move into a leadership role, managing teams of people. I'm not sure what that would look like or even if it would be at United. But yeah, I think that would definitely be something I'd like to pursue in the future.
Yeah, sounds good. I finished an interview with Joe Wainman, who runs his own YouTube channel, the other day, this exact same way. So I figured I'd give you the similar shot. It's just some predictions for the season ahead. At most, a very quick sentence for each question, if you can. Who do you think is going to be your club's top scorer this season?
Well, at the moment it's Casemiro, but I'm thinking Rasmus Højlund has started to look good. So I think he's got 3. So I'll back him.
Okay, presumably not the defensive midfielder.
No.
Your probable player of the season?
Oof. That's a tough one. It's usually Bruno Fernandes. So I'll go with him because he is the most influential player.
Who you think is going to be a surprise star by the end of the year?
We have a midfielder in the. He won the Youth Cup a couple of seasons ago, Kobe Mainoo, and he probably would have started this season, but he picked up a knee injury in pre-season. I think he's back soon, so I'll say him because I think he is a generational talent. I think he'll surprise.
He was very annoying in our pre-season match against you.
Yeah, he started in that one, didn't he? Yeah.
Absolute pain.
And
where do you think your club is going to finish at the end of the season? And because you're lucky enough to not support a championship club and they're in various other competitions, in FA Cup, Champions League, what are you thinking?
I'm going to be positive for the league. I'm going to say top 4. I'll say 4th. And then I'll say we'll win one of the cups.
Okay.
I think that would be a good season after the difficult start we've had.
Brilliant. So, thanks for your time. If you've liked the video, just drop a like below. I've really butchered this outro, but I'm going to keep rolling with it. Comment your thoughts, anyone you'd like me to have on, have a chat to, and subscribe if you're not already, and I will see you later.